Hey folks, welcome to the big board. So we have in front of us Pharsalus, or Pharsalus, depending on how you like to pronounce it. And this is one of the final battles between, if not the final battle, I believe, between Caesar and Pompey. And this will probably wrap up our adventure in examining the two generals and their maturing as leaders and generals. Although Caesar does go on to fight other battles, we might have a look at some of them. But this is the final conflict between the two, and really, I think this really brings out the key differences in the two generals' capabilities. We'll talk about a little bit more about that later on, perhaps when we wrap all this up. What I did want to do is highlight to you a few things about the scenario and how I'm going to play each side for this particular engagement. So we have over here, this is Pompey's left wing, and it's led by Labienus, who's here. And what was I going to say? What am I looking for? No, I'll show you in a sec. So the cavalry, there's an excessive amount of cavalry. These are the cavalry units here. It's alleged that there were nearly 6,400 cavalry versus just 1,000 cavalry in Caesar's army. Some analysts say that there were the equivalent of 4 or 5 or less units. We're going to play the cavalry portion of it, assuming that at least the first 2 rows are in the combat. We're going to use the surprise rules. There's a special surprise rule for the cavalry. They are all going to have to make a TQ check, or the equivalent of a morale check, once they get within 2 hexes of this oblique refused unit or group of units here, which is missing a tribune. That's why I had that spare tribune out. So we're going to put a tribune on these guys, and this is all part of Caesar's plan. He realized what the situation was and saw the forces advancing off the hill where they had stood for the better part of the day previously, and he refused battle at that point. But then when he was in fact preparing to leave, and his troops were in column, when he noticed that Pompey had advanced his forces onto the flat of the plain. So he quickly formed up, and because of the disparity in force size based on the various accounts, we have a very densely packed individual cohorts that were about 10 ranks deep for each of these units, whereas these chaps were spread out a little bit more. They were probably 4 to 6 ranks deep each. And what Caesar did was pull a cohort from each of the, well, there are 8 legions here, and one's not a proper legion, but from all the other legions, from the 10th and the 9th and the 12th and whatnot, and he put 6 cohorts over here that were screened by this cavalry and these skirmishers. And so this caused a little bit of a surprise. And this, Pompey's basic strategy was, let's overwhelm this left flank and then roll up the army and run them into the Epeneus River, which is down here. So what I'm going to do is, as the Caesarians, I believe that when you use this game system, it's always best to have the initiative and take and punch first. So I may actually, with some of the veteran legions, particularly down this end of the map, these 2 here are veteran. Actually, this is a recruit, but it's not too bad. They're all 6 rated and 7 rated, and this is definitely a veteran. I'm going to attack here and at least get the first leak in, and then bring forward the second ranks to reinforce the line. Here we may or may not wait. We'll see how this cavalry attack goes before we decide what we do. But then certainly here, this legion and this legion will certainly attack, and particularly these 2 legions here. Who are these guys? This is the 16th. I think that might have been a replacement legion I pulled in. And we've got the Syrians here who are conscript level. They're very weak, so there's a good opportunity for these guys to try and punch in the middle and break up the army a little bit. Anyway, this is a little bit long, didn't want to go that long. This is the initial setup. You're going to see Caesar be a little aggressive on his left wing, possibly aggressive in the center right section, which I think had... I'm missing a leader there as well. See, glad we checked this. Well, Caesar was running this section of the battlefield anyway. But he's going to try and angle in this way, attack here, whereas Pompey's going to step off the line as quickly as possible as well and get his licks in, particularly with the first, and then at the other end down here with, they suck. These Galatians aren't too bad, actually. He'll probably attack with those immediately as well. And we'll see, but the big push will be the cavalry. All right, that's all I wanted to share with you.